By it at every turn, like the Incredible Hulk being bombarded by gamma rays. But what makes some... Yes, you've heard the intro a couple of times now. Hello everyone, it's me, Steve, one half of the greatest podcast that's about obscure media, known as Obscurity Now. Obviously without Yahel because he has a real job, and while my son sleeps, I just thought I would tune in and we can talk about what's going to happen over the next few weeks with your favorite podcast about obscure media, Obscurity Now. First off, I'd like to say thank you for your continued support. I know there are a lot of media podcasts out there, and you could be listening to any of them, so thank you for listening to us, especially the last episode for No Holds Barred was the highest rated one yet. So we thought we would follow that up with an episode about the obscure 90s comic book character Darkhawk. Now I understand not everybody likes to discuss comic books, so no big deal. If you don't want to listen, you could always come back the following week when we will be discussing He-Man. But more on that in a bit. First, next week's episode is also a little bit different because it is not going to be live. Because, again, Yahel has a life, and I guess he's going to be going out of town. We talked about it on last week's episode, but in case you didn't watch it for whatever reason, I'm just going to be letting all of you know who like to show up in our live chat and add to the already massive amount of hilarity that's in every episode with your quips and your comments that unfortunately the live chat will not be working. However, you're free to yell at your computer screen or TV screen or whatever screen you use to view the podcast on. Now, obviously, if you listen to this via podcast, this message has nothing to do with you other than letting you know that, again, next week we're going to be talking about the obscure Marvel character known as Darkhawk. And the following week, we are going to be talking about the first time He-Man was rebooted. And we will also be following up the review of that show, which no one is talking about, with a review of the He-Man reboot that a lot of people are talking about, and that is the Kevin Smith one. We talked about it a few episodes back. I'm sure it's going to be hugely successful, as is this episode of Obscurity Now, especially the Darkhawk one. But yeah, a lot of people don't know or even remember that in the early 90s, specifically 1990, He-Man was rebooted into the New Adventures of He-Man. If you're watching this, you can clearly see a shirtless He-Man. He's got a ponytail. Yeah, you can see it in the picture, and there's two dudes that are flanking him to the left and right that don't really look like any of the... I mean, the animation was different. He-Man was different. I think they even changed a lot of the voices. And for some reason, Skeletor, despite the fact that he has a skull for a head, has a mullet, as you can plainly see in the picture here. So yeah, that will be in 2 Sundays. But I sure hope that you will join us for Darkhawk. Who doesn't love a good obscure 90s superhero? I mean, it's Marvel, right? I mean, he could be your new favorite, and you might just be saying to yourself, hey, Marvel, why don't you put this guy in a movie, huh? I mean, he's going to be big bucks. Big bucks. But you'll have to join us. And, you know, we'll tell you, we'll decide for you, since you can't participate in the chat, whether he deserves a movie or not. All right? Simple as that. Okay. So once again, thank you for your support. We've been on Twitter, on YouTube, on Twitch. We could use a few more Instagram followers. I mean, do people even use the gram anymore? I don't know. But there's still plenty of action on the YouTube channel and on Twitter, in case you were wondering. I don't even know why I'm telling you this stuff. But anyway, Thanks again for listening. Like, subscribe, share, all that other stuff. And we'll see you this Sunday for Darkhawk, the most metal name ever. Bye. You've been enjoying Obscurity Now, a podcast that's recorded live to tape and streamed to Twitch and YouTube. Subscribe so you never miss an episode or hilarious quip. Take us with you by following the download links provided in the show notes to wherever you get podcasts. And take notice of our various social media links if that's what you're into. I'm not here to judge. And make sure you join us live next week at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific as we continue to discuss more obscure media only on Obscurity Now.